I'm not going to be long, because I know we have a lot of other folks that have some amazing stories to tell you and to share with you. And I'm just going to share just a little bit about my story. You know, I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. And I truly believe that teachers are heroes. And I just want to share a few of my heroes that I had growing up here in Tallahassee. Miss Kate Jackson, Mrs. Mosley, Mrs. Schumann, Mrs. Sharon Simmons, Mrs. Bruce, Mrs. Ruth Dix, Mrs. Council, Mr. Tessel, Mr. Otis Hill, Mrs. Collier, Mrs. Hannah, Mr. Eddie Kilpatrick, Mr. Goldfarb, Mr. Gavin, Mrs. Carolyn Hill, and now my children's heroes, Mrs. Sauls, Mrs. Janasiewicz, Mrs. Reinhardt, Mr. Teal, Mrs. Teal, Mrs. Bailey, and now Mr. Russo and Mrs. Anderson and so many others at Swift Creek. You know, those are my heroes, but there's one, before I go any further, I really, really want to point out. And I think it just underlines why we're here tonight. And that's Linda Edson. And I don't know if she's here or not, but Linda Edson is a retired teacher, and she taught at Buck Lake Elementary. But what's so phenomenal about Linda is that Linda was at the Capitol every day in committee weeks and even up during session. And she wasn't just there because she had a lot of free time. She was there because she was fighting for those teachers that were behind her. It was really easy for her to say, you know what, I got mine, I'm gonna go on and do some other things. But she was there every day, coming to my office, making copies, disseminating information out to other folks about what they were doing, the FRS, what they were doing with this teachers, with this Son of Six bill that they had. And she was there every day. And so for that, she was standing on the front lines for all of you. So she's also a hero. But I'm proud to tell you that I serve with some great folks. And I serve with another hero that you're going to hear from later on, who was just as loud and just as proud about education in the state of Florida. And that's my colleague, Michelle Raywinkle Vassalinder. One thing I will tell you, what we've seen this session, it's just a plain out assault. Each and every week, it's an assault, whether it's assault on Medicare recipients, state employees, voters, unions, and obviously teachers. When will it stop? When will it stop? So tonight it's more than just teacher appreciation. It's about teacher motivation and teacher mobilization. And we need to take this network, all of these heroes, all of you, we need to take you and mobilize around this state and to show those folks that I work with every day that you guys do and can show up. And we're going to have an opportunity to do that in a few months. This time next year, it's going to be, we need to start getting the ground game going now, and I think that's what this is about. But this time next year, it's about mobilization. It's about mobilizing, and not for your own state of mind and your own personal welfare, but it's about your children that you teach, and my children, and all of our children. It's about those who don't have a voice, who don't have a vote at the ballot box. That's who we're standing up for. And that's why we need all of you to get mobilized. Bring your networks, whether it's your pew mates, whether it's the folks that you see in the grocery store when you're thumping cantaloupes, whether it's the folks that you see, you know, at the baseball park in the afternoon when we got our fabulous parks that Commissioner Gillum and other folks bring to us. All those folks in that network, it's about getting them engaged and sharing your story. Those stories that you're going to share tonight, it's about sharing those stories so next year, and when we're here in session 2013, it'll be a different message. It'll be a different message that Governor Rick Scott cannot take to a supermajority Republican legislature. It's going to be a different message that all of us can be proud of. All of us can be proud of, because we know that it will bring about positive change in positive and good public policy. And that's what this is about. And so, again, thank you so much. Thank you to all my heroes. Thank you to all the heroes who are here this evening. And God bless you, and keep fighting, and I'm in there with you. God bless you.